Bills fans, what is up? Oh man, this was the one. This is the one we've been waiting for, and wow, a weight. It was very much a weight being lifted off our chests, and offensively, they just got it right today from the opening ball. It was just beautiful. I think after Allen threw the first one incomplete, the rest just started clicking 1, 2, 3, and it was just really really nice to see. What's up, Zach? How you doing, bro? Man, it was really 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 nice to see them, because you do get worried. You start to hear the pundits, you hear the bullshit, you try to ignore it, but they I don't think he was ever gone, Damager, but it was nice to see. Oh man, and it was just the easy. It was last year. It was pitch and catch, ball distributing all over the field. He had the touch on the deep ball today. I mean, even the one to Diggs, which I thought was a pass interference. I thought they should have lobbied for that a little harder. But the touchdown pass, the first TD to Emmanuel Sanders. That's Josh Allen at his best. Rolling to the right, sees Sanders cutting full speed, sliding, throws the ball, perfect trajectory right to him, touchdown. He goes low down to get it. And then the touchdown, the back shoulder fade to Dawson Knox. I mean, how many times have we seen that pass completed against the Bills over the years with a team? And this is why I was so steadfast. You do not give up on this guy for a guy like Zach Ertz. You don't give up anything because I think this kid has something. And I believe in the Bills coaching staff. I believe in their management to say, you know what? We like this guy. We believe in him. We've tried to develop him. We feel like we developed him. He's going to get better. And he's just quietly been nice all season. He's pretty much changed their philosophy on offense. They're running strictly out of, I'm going to say strictly, but mostly out of 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 tight end. They go a little bit with 10 personnel, 4 wide, 1 running back, but this looks like their bread and butter right now, and they just really, really, man, they and as frustrating as that sequence was, they give up the long screen touchdown to Antonio Gibson. Credit to him, he got open in the open field, he made the play. He beat the Bills to the goal line. 79 yards. You never want to get burned like that after you go up 21-0. You don't want to give a team life. But then a special teams gaffe, the kickoff, and when I saw the kickoff coming so short, and I didn't even need to see the finish, the play. I knew Washington was going to get it. I knew Washington was going to get it. I'm like, they're going to fucking get this ball. And sure enough, Heineke punches it in, and I'm skipping over a lot of great plays. The Bills' defense, let me tell you, outside of that one play, they were great today. They were great. And I'll give you Heineke, the one thing I'll give him a couple of things. He's a slippery son of a bitch in that pocket. There was times I thought the Bills had him hemmed up, and he squeaked out of there. Like he literally slithered out of there, whether the ball was complete, he threw it away, scramble. It did not matter. He's a slippery son of a bitch. They basically lost Ryan Fitzpatrick and replaced him with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That is the quarterback he reminds me of. He's younger. He's about the same size. Here's these damn helicopters again. I apologize. But outside of that, the interceptions that he threw were just self-inflicted, forcing the ball into double coverage, holding onto the ball too long. Poyer just squatted on it, drove on the ball. I thought he had a pick six, but he got tackled from behind by McLaurin. He was Trey outside of the one pass late with a friends and family touchdown that Logan Thomas caught. Was excellent on McLaurin today. They didn't really have another receiving threat. De'Ami Brown had a couple of really bad drops today, would have extended drives for Washington. Logan Thomas got caught, former Bill trying to make a play against his former team early. Should have went down there. Bills, Trey White, peanut punches it. There's Matt Milano for the fumble recovery, just like he was last week against Jakeem Grant. And it was a crazy. What's up, Travsdale? How you doing, bro? It was. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's who he is. It's exactly who he reminded me of. He plays like Fitz. He plays with the same, cojones Fitz does. The moxie. He makes the same kind of mistakes. The scrambles. The arm is so. I mean, some of the deep balls he threw were just, they weren't great. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a much younger version of Ryan Fitzpatrick. I was a little shy. I didn't realize how slippery he was, though. He was very, very slippery in the pocket. And looking at his history in college, he played, by some bad teams, made a lot of plays for them, and he's just used to playing in a muddy pocket where they just get swallowed up. Such a little book on him. This is only his fourth NFL start. And so during the week, I went back and watched some of his college stuff, and he looked like the same type of dude, scrambling around like a chicken with his head cut off, just making plays however he could. Guy's going to be in the league for a while, though. Spot starter, backup. He's got a lot of balls. I give him some respect, but you heard all kinds of crazy talk during the week, though, like he's going to go, build on that performance against the Giants. And when I'm like, look, he pretty much lost the Giants. He pretty much he should have thrown the game-losing interception against the Giants. And if you watch that Giants team, they're bad. They're a bad team. That's a bad team. And you saw what everybody thought. What's up, Trevor? How you doing, bro? You saw what everybody thought was, oh wow, Daniel Jones played great. Josh Allen torched them. He torched them. He probably should have had 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. He put on a clinic. But the easy pitch and catch, some of the crazy throws that he had today, hitting Sanders, got a step on his man, puts it right on him before the safety got over. Josh didn't really get hit today outside of the one by Curl. I think it was a safety blitz. He got hit on the backside. But outside of that, Chase Young didn't get home. Montez Sweat didn't get home. From the talk of the offensive line after the game, Jonathan Allen was the guy that was giving them the most trouble up front. The Bills, one thing I observed the last couple of weeks, and it even started in the fourth quarter of the Steelers game. Bills quietly have a nice little run game cooking. And it started with Motor. You saw it with Moss and Motor last week. This week, it was mainly Moss. But Moss ran hard. He ran physical. He caught the ball extremely well, had the touchdown, had another first down in between the 30s. And he's a sneaky player. He really, really is. And I like him in those short yardage instead of Allen, unless it's completely like this type of situation where Allen just has to take 2 steps and it's a first down. I want Moss taking a lot of the brunt of that. And it was really nice. The offensive line settling in. Our quarterback looking like our quarterback again. And I kind of looked back at last season and I said to myself, you know what? There was a few pockets in the season like this. There was the New England game at home. The Chargers game at home wasn't a great performance. The KC game, he wasn't himself really. He was missing some throws. And I was just like, not trying to talk myself off a ledge, but I'm like, look, this kid's going to snap out of it. To the point where I had my girl's little sister over, yesterday we were going to bowling or whatever. And I was just like, look, tell Josh Allen you want him to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns just for shits and giggles. And he got the 4 touchdowns, ran for 1, which is a 5. I was like, holy shit. If he does it, I'm still going to have her make a message for him, say thank you. Oh, what's up, man? No, she you know what I did is I tried to show her what good quarterback numbers were and bad ones. It didn't take her long. And she was like, okay. And she and I said, I'll throw for 3. She's like, no, 4 is more. I was like, okay. Yeah, man. She wasn't far off. Oh, here's the touchdown passer showing it on the look at that. If you're about to watch the 49ers and Packers, that touchdown, even the touchdown last week to Dawson Knox where he's rolling to his left, hits Knox, and Knox is really, I mean, I think that guy's going to have a go-off game. He's primed for it. Even the last pass he caught, and I've been just like the back shoulder where he just goes up and gets it. He just goes up and gets it. Like, thank you. How many times? Finally. What's up, Bowman? How you doing, man? Yeah, Dable did a better job today. Still not a fan of the QB draws. He really didn't do a lot of that, except in the third quarter where they settled for a couple of field goals. It might have been in the second quarter. He settled for a couple of field goals. I was really irritated. No, I think it was in the third quarter because they got that really cheap 3 at the end of the half, and I love that drive. I've seen the Patriots do that to the Bills so many times with Brady, as we all have, where they just get a cheap 3 or a touchdown at the end of a half when they have like 45 seconds, and the Bills had their whole allotment of timeouts. And you know how you tell a good coach anymore? It's not even hard. Watch their timeout and challenge utilization. That's it. Watch their timeout, challenge utilization. Watch, and people try to we've all seen McDermott get animated on the sidelines. You know, the famous picture of him with the blood on the hoodie and all that. You watch a coach like Joe Judge, who's over animated, yanking his headpiece off. His timeout utilization, his challenge utilization is just disgusting. Even with John Gruden today, I was just finished watching Miami and then the Raiders. It was just, and Brian Flores, just watching it was just like a slop fest of who can mess up the least and win. What's up, guys? I'm going to read some of the comments here. Yeah, Bowman, I don't know if you saw, Daboll apparently had a loss in his family. His grandmother passed away, similar to what happened to Josh last year. I believe it was Seattle. And he, team rallied around him. He called a great game. Anytime you can put up a 40 burger, could have been 50 plus easy. You got to tip your hat to the play caller and to the team. It was just the ability of this team to be able to reset itself after some mistakes is what really gives me hope. They make some mistakes. They just okay, we were up 21-0. Now it's 21-14. Chill. We got this. And they did. Got a field goal. Got a stop. Got a cheap field goal. It's okay, we're back to 11. 13. We got this. And that's the impressive thing. Where Bills fans have fall to bits, and I say this all the time, Bills players fall to bits like Bills teams of the past would fall to bits in the past. This team just doesn't in those cases. When Dawson Knox played, he makes a big difference. He's blocking. He's playing with a lot more confidence, just a lot more confidence. You see it the way he plays. You see it the way he celebrates the touchdowns. You see that confidence that he's playing with. Beasley had a nice day, Trevor, finally, and you're waiting for that because he's the drive extender. He's the cooler. He third and 3, between 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 7, it's Beasley. It's Beasley all day, and Damager. Yep. Matt Milano was just playing there's an example of a guy, homegrown guy. He wants to be in Buffalo. He tells his agent to make it happen, and you pay him, and he doesn't show up to the building and mail it in. No, he's playing the best football of his career. Whereas Bills players of the past, like a Marcel Darius, gets a big contract. You never see him again. He may as well have never suited up for the Bills ever again after getting that contract, ever. And just smirks of how polar opposite regimes of the past compared to this regime is. Just that alone. Taron Johnson, just amazing. Just, it's so hard to pick out a player because on the defensive line, they were getting pressure. Oliver had some pressure. I mean, there was 3 times I thought Epinesa had Heineke dead. And that son of a bitch just got out of there. I don't know how, but he just kind of did this little shit and just got out. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I got it a few weeks ago. I couldn't wear it because Bills had lost, and I was just really feeling like shit. So I was like, I'm rocket today. Yeah, it's kind of like a t-shirt hoodie too, so it's not as heavy. But Moss played, yeah, physical. Allen lights out. Yeah, 3 and change, could have been 4. I mean, and Trevor, I think Heineke hype. Yeah. Again, Trevor, Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's who he is. He reminded me, if he was wearing number 14 instead of 4, dead ringer. Dead ringer. Play style, the whole bit, everything. Ryan Fitzpatrick. And today also, this team, and even if a team won, this team won on the away scoreboard. The Raiders had to squeak one out against that Miami Dolphin team. We saw that Miami Dolphin team last week. That's not a good football team. Not a good football team. And I said this after the game. Go back and watch it. If the Bills played the Steelers right now, fuck that. If the Bills had played the Steelers the day after they played, they would have won. The Bills play the Steelers the day after the first game, they would have won. The Bills beat themselves. The proof's in the pudding. I said, you see who's playing good football 4 weeks from now, 6 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now. And I would guarantee, and granted, last week, this week, Bengals got the they didn't have to play against JJ Watt. No, I'm sorry, TJ Watt. They didn't have to play again. I think Hayden was inactive last week. Devin Bush he was inactive last week. I don't know if he was inactive this week. Deontay Johnson was inactive. He caught a touchdown against the Bills. So I sound like sour grapes, but the Bills, to me, I did not see this juggernaut of a team. I just saw the Bills not getting that one play. Hit that Sanders play. Don't get a punt block return for a touchdown. You win. That's it. It's ugly maybe, but you would have won. But I think maybe that was the wake-up call that they needed. Because outside of the 2 hiccups, 79-yard screen, the short kickoff that they got a short field on, the friends and family touchdown that they scored late, this defense has been locked down. This defense has been they're just getting 3 and outs. They're not giving up long, crazy drives. That was the big play that they gave up. You're allowed one of those, I guess, for 3 games, but you never want to give those up because those suck. Before I forget, the drive the Bills got the ball back after the 3 and out to start the first drive of the third quarter. That was a championship drive. Why? You're up 13 points. Just the start of the third quarter. You 3 and out them. You get the ball back. They go on a 93-yard, 8.5-minute touchdown drive. They fuck around and say, you know what, we'll try I said the same thing. Just go for the 2 points. If you don't make it, does not matter. That ends the football game right there. They bang, 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 touchdown. Ends in the Emmanuel Sanders touchdown, left back of the end zone touchdown. That was it. That was a championship drive. That's a team winning a game in the third quarter, killing the clock, killing a team's morale. You saw it. You saw Ron Rivera's face. You saw Chase Young on the sideline when the camera was cutting to him. You saw their body language completely. They were done. They were deflated. And outside of the 2 hiccups, it could have been a shutout. It could have been. Maybe they get the friends and family touchdown at the end. They have some good players. Logan Thomas was, he's huge. He was able to body Micah Hyde and catch that ball. There's really nothing you can do. I mean, the 2 interceptions our safeties made today were just veteran, beautiful plays. Heineke, again, a Fitzpatrick type of error where he's throwing in the triple coverage in the middle of the field. Maybe he needs to eat the ball, take off with it, something. The one to Poyer, and let's be honest. I'm going to say this. The refs today, my one gripe, Redskins were getting away with a lot of holding. A lot of holding. Remember, the emphasis all of a sudden was offensive holding, you're going to throw those flags. All of a sudden, it's like I watched like 3 or 4 times today, guys trying to disengage and handfuls of jersey. You could see it clear as day with the Redskins because they were all white. I was like, where's the flag? Where's the flag? And Fox is terrible. I wanted to see the penalty, the so-called penalty on the legal contact that wiped out Taron Johnson's interception. I'm like, there was apparently three penalties on that play. And the one blindside block that they called on that INT return that they took away from the Bills was a bitch-made call. It was so weak. It was literally, I believe it was Morse or Feliciano just goes and taps the guy while his head was turned, and the ref, oh my God, the ref was like, oh my God, oh my, he acted like it was the Hines Ward Keith Rivers hit, the reason they outlawed the hit, if you remember that one. It was pathetic. It was just a pathetic call. Like, and Fox didn't replay nothing. You didn't see any of it. You just saw basically them talking about Brandon Sheriff running into the side of the stadium ledge. He literally just ran right into it. It was just like, what? I mean, what a bungle play. What a bungle play. It was just a terrible, terrible play. Oh, man. But outside of that, and boy, did Daryl Johnson sound like he was not a liker of the Bills? Like, he sounded like he was just a Washington. I mean, maybe, played in the NFC East. He just sounded like a Washington apologist. He was just talking like, I don't know. I wasn't very impressed with him. I just didn't like some of his commentary very much. Like, he was just flat, didn't add much emotion to the game. I don't know who the guy calling the game with him was. At least I can't remember offhand, but yeah, the Fox broadcast was crap today. It was crap. I didn't, but our defense played amazing. Even the one hold. Okay, you want to call it a hold? Okay. The Isaiah McKenzie return, it was like 30 yards. They wiped it out on Tyler Medikevich. Hold. I saw Washington Redskin offensive lineman doing that to Bills defensive lineman, clear as day, in front of the back judge, no flag. And I was like, sometimes I think the refs are like, you know what, this team, we don't want to see him get embarrassed too much. Let's just not give it to him. Let's give it to him. Because I'm like a lot of Bills fans. I'm eerily reminded of sometimes, they catch these refs on the hot mics. You remember New England, 98 or 9, I was at 90. Just give it to him. Just give it to him. Andre Reed after the game. It just like, I don't put it past these pricks. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. That division is not good, man, Bowman. That division is not good. If the Cowboys are the best that division has to offer, like, they're not good. Travsdale, we never had 50 ball in the end zone. Yeah, that honestly, like, I think they scored a touchdown, but even the one to Diggs, I was just like, I was like, where's you got Stephon Diggs getting covered by a undrafted or a 7th round corner. He hooked him. That's something you call. But overall, I'll say at the back end, they let them play today. They let them play. There wasn't too much crazy, dumb shit. There wasn't like something that was insane. It was a, you can't complain. I'm nitpicking, but 43 could have been more to 21 points. Really points that the Bills shouldn't have allowed, but they happened. They're a professional team. They have some talented players. I think McLaurin is a hell of a player. I just don't think he has a good enough quarterback to consistently make him look like he should. Their offensive line, I guess, in run blocking was okay in some spots. Antonio Gibson looks like a nice player. He ran hard. Hell of a play on the 79-yard touchdown. You can't lie about that. Defensively, here they are again. It's embarrassing. To invest the kind of capital they did in defensive ends, I mean, I was a little worried, like I'm sure some of you were, about Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see a damn. I mean, I was waiting. I'm like, they're gonna get Josh on one of these plays. He's gonna get. He's an okay coach, Trevor. I don't think he's, oh my God, great. I think he's okay. I just think he's an okay coach. I think he's a good coach that's got a good standing in the league amongst his peers. He's he's one of those types. Like, I don't think he's like, he sets you apart. I don't think he gives you a game day advantage, because even when there was meat on the bone for the Redskins, you guys noticed this too, I'm sure. The Redskins were, I'll call them the fucking Redskins, whatever. Washington football team, Redskins. They were taking their sweet ass time. They were still huddling. The play clock was down in 15 and below seconds. There was like 20 plus minutes left in the game, and they're running the ball. They're huddling. They're taking their time. I'm like, they were playing with no urgency. It was just like, where's the. Yeah, Scott Turner, fortunate son. It's like, dude, a lot of these guys, man, Clint Kubiak, Scott Turner, Rex and Bob Ryan. It is the national, that N does not stand for national, and it stands for nepotism. It is a friends and family league in a lot of ways, and you see it. But that's their problem. But it was slow as shit, and it just. Let me read some of the comments here. Midnight, what's up, bro? Yeah, that's Ramius. He's chilling. He's happy. He's getting treats. Oh, Aaron Rodgers just dropped one in the bucket to Lazard. Beautiful pass. Tom says, I hate Nick Wright so much. You know what? They're 1-2. I didn't finish my earlier point where I said the Bills won on the out-of-town scoreboard. I mentioned the Miami Raider game. The fucking Ravens. How lucky are they? That team could easily be 0-3. They're 2-1. They did beat KC last week. Very good win. Great win. Good for Lamar Jackson because he played well after some too early interceptions. 66-yard field goal to win a game like that. And for the Detroit Lions to lose a game like that, where they probably have more heartbreaking losses than the Bills do. That's like, holy shit. Like, I stopped watching it, and all of a sudden my Twitter timeline is like 66, and I'm just in my head, I'm like, he fucking made it. I'm like, oh my God, how lucky. And they had when I turned it off, the 4th and 19, I didn't know he even converted it. I didn't even know he converted it. I saw they still had the ball. I was like, how do they still have the ball? Maybe it was a penalty or something. Insane way to lose a game. And KC lost. They're shaky. If the Browns don't shoot themselves in the foot, they're 3-0, looking good. Have a win against KC, but their punter has a brain fart, much like the Bills had a brain fart off on special teams, lost them a game. Andy Reid apparently left in an ambulance. That's not good. You don't want to see a guy get ill, leave in an ambulance. Hopefully he's okay. He's always battled with weight issues, and I know he's had a bunch of knee replacements and hip replacements. Aaron Rodgers is scrambling for his life, but he slides. Indianapolis looks dead. Carson Wentz gives them I don't know. I just think he's done. I just think he's shop worn. Too many injuries. Pittsburgh loses to Cincinnati. That helps the Bills. Drops them to 1-2. New England gets pretty much handled easily at home against New Orleans. So much for the early. It's early, but the Mac Jones hype train, where they were supposedly, oh, they're gonna beat the Bills. They've got, I mean, like, he's a rookie quarterback. Okay, let's calm the fuck down. You see the WEI thing. Oh, this is the first time. What a bunch of ungrateful pricks. Like, and a bunch of ungrateful, bitter, nasty pricks on Twitter like 2-3 weeks ago. The first time Belichick's had a quarterback with no ego, or an egoless quarterback. Like, first of all, how do you know what type of, like, you see a guy that looks the way he does physically, okay, just looks like a regular dude. Doesn't look like he's ever seen a gym a day in his life, smoking the cigar, cocky as hell, went to Alabama. You don't think he's got a fucking ego? Let me tell you something. No quarterback that ever won shit in the NFL did not have an ego. They all have fucking egos. Peyton Manning doesn't have an ego. Brady doesn't have an ego. Elway. What? That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. And he's a rookie. He had some tip pass interceptions, threw a few today. Like, they're just ungrateful. They just are ungrateful, like, bitter pricks. Midnight says, yeah, KC being a game behind the Bills is huge. They're chasing the Bills this season. It's not like last year. Well, it's early yet, but it's good to see them stumble. It's good. That helps. Bowman, a lot of these fans didn't even watch the Patriots before. No, they don't even know. They couldn't tell you that was, oh yeah, they couldn't tell you Bledsoe. They couldn't even tell you Bledsoe's name, for Christ's sake. They couldn't even tell you Pete Carroll, who still coaches in the league, was the coach before Belichick. That's the easiest way, the most surefire way to show the frauds that they are. Who was the coach before Belichick? I've had so many of them tell me Parcells. So many of them. I'm like, nah, you're dismissed. You don't even know. Oh, Kelly was a dick. But he won. And that's what matters. And had a huge ego. He calmed it down as he got older, but he was a dick. The amount of money Brady took to win. Yeah, oh, yes, for his ego. And look, you put him a team that has weapons, and then they go, and New England goes and spends all that money for who? A rookie quarterback that they don't know about. They don't know what Mac Jones is going to be. Has he looked okay sometimes in spots? Yeah, he has. It was a few nice spots. I mean, he looked playable against the and he did look decent against Miami week 1. He did look good. I mean, but the Jets are terrible. Did any of you catch any of that Broncos Jet? They are awful. Their quarterback is getting killed. He's throwing some really bad interceptions. It's like some of the interceptions today I saw, like from Mahomes, the interception last week, the 2 interceptions this week. Allen gets eviscerated on a local, national, and fan level if he throws one of those interceptions. It is a damn flamethrower. No doubt about it. But I said this before. He gets away with a lot. It just seems like the guy doesn't come down with the interception. Not that Allen throws a lot of interceptions anymore. I see Mahomes, you see some of the amazing plays he makes. It's just fucking crazy. Make no mistake. Amazing plays. But he has had the luck of the draw 9.9 times out of 10. Lady Luck has been on his side. And today, you saw the one where he just floats it up. It was a sitter interception. Easy. Those are easy interceptions. The one off Pringle's hands where he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But he never gets called to carpet for it, Trevor. That's the thing. Never gets called to carpet. Midnight, good job with reality. Yeah, I never hated Brady. Hate New England. Respect the hell. Yeah, he's great. There's no other way to put it. He's great. I mean, today in a loss, first time he ever played in LA, 400 yards. He's 44. The fucking guy is timeless. And he's great, and we know that. We're well aware of how great he is. We don't need. I mean, Bills fans more than any other fan base know Brady's greatness. I think we know and are aware of Brady's greatness more so than Patriot fans, because for so long we didn't have a quarterback. We had good teams, but we never had a quarterback especially one of that caliber. That's the greatest ever, but nowhere near that caliber. And I just think Patriot fans thought that they still think that they're just, you know, entitled to just have one, and just got so used to it, and it was sickening. So I think us Bills fans know and appreciate Brady's greatness more so than Patriot fans ever will. And to not be injured. I mean, the 1 year in '08, the Bernard Pollard hit, where the Bernard Pollard rule came, which I think is it's a little bit of a bitch made rule. I mean, a lot of times you dive in for the legs. There's real no intent to injure. Most of these quarterbacks wear these big, bulky knee prosthetics on their knees. They don't really take those horrible knee injuries like we're used to see back in the day because of those braces, which is a good thing. There was a few of the games today I saw ticky-tack penalties, but I didn't watch them all in totality. But man, what a difference a week makes. Even last week, you win. It's like the Bills. We were the same way. We were the same way as the Bills team. Bills won 35-0, but damn, it could have been 50-0. Our offense was not clicking. Allen still looked like he was a hair or two off, a little too early, a little too late. This week, it pretty much, the one pass where I saw he missed really good. Okay, maybe he could have led Gilliam a little bit to the end zone on the one. Could have been his 5th touchdown pass. The late one, it was a shallow crosser to Sanders. He just fucking rifled it over his head. He put a ton of mustard. Where on that one, he just had the nice, easy dump. He would have caught it. He still might have been running. Would have been an easy 15 to 25 plus yard play. I'm going to read some of the comments. Midnight Strikes Back. As a Bills fan for 35 years, Brady tortured me, tortured us all, dude. All of our adult life, ruined most of our football Sundays, many a time. Yeah. I mean, once you get a guy like that in your division, it destroys you. And that's why a week like this, to me, is big. Because you see the rest of the division teams, right? Miami, let's be honest, they made a massive mistake with Tua, and they squandered a lot of their draft capital. And they didn't get another first-round pick because they were so assured that they have Tua and that he's the guy. No, they want to cover their bases. But the question is, does Chris Greer and Brian Flores make that? Did they get a second shot at a quarterback? Did they earn the not that they earned it in Chicago, but how many kicks at the can is Ryan Pace and what's his name going to get over there in Chicago, the head coach, Nagy? That this is what, their 4th one? I mean, they gave Glennon, don't need to go their history, but Jesus Christ, some of these teams, look what's going to happen with the Giants. You think they're going to give Gettleman a shot at another quarterback and head coach? No, that's it. This is done, man. They're done. They're toast. They'll be 0-6, staring at maybe 0-7, 0-8, and people are going to start putting body bags over there. The Jets, I mean, the kid's throwing interceptions. He's holding on to the ball. He's got offensive linemen complaining he's holding on to the ball too long, not getting rid of it. He's taking sacks. He's getting beat up. He looks like it's a little too big for him right now. That's the Jet organization. Then you look at New England. They should have won week 1, but Xavier Howard, as we saw last week, made a hell of a play, forced a turnover, and secured their win. So you got to call it between the white lines. And they won that game. And but still, their young quarterback had his struggles. Today resets that. It's like, look, we got the best guy in this division. Don't forget that. We got the stud. We got the alpha male. We got the blue chip. Remember that. That's what I like about today. That's what, gives me that confidence and just calms everything down. 2-1 in the division, leading the division. Just a nice, crisp, had a hiccup or two, but just totally reestablished, Bills victory. It was really nice to see. The kind of game teams that know that they're good but can get better win. Yeah, Trevor. I think I second that. I think that Jacoby Brissett. I don't think Tua puts them in a position to win that game today like Jacoby Brissett did, and that's not saying much. That's not saying a lot. Cannon does it again. Read some of the comments here. Tom says New England land is hard to figure out. I got some old family from there. It's like calling out a New Yorker on patriotism after 1783. Midnight Strikes Back, Bucks, Bills, Super Bowl. I don't know. Bills, Rams, Bills, Bucks. I don't care who the Bills play, just as long as it's the Bills playing somebody. That's what any of us care about. I think. Midnight Bills win though. We got vengeance on Brady. Oh, that would be beautiful. Wow, that would be a wet dream. So I'm glad you got to finish that. Trevor, yep. Tom says, "Oh man, didn't." Two deployments with me. Troy, New York is a Miami fan. Oh, poor bastard. Probably left over from the Marino Shula years. But that's what today meant for me. It's us showing we got the guy in the division. We have the best quarterback. Our build is the true rebuild, and the other teams don't know what they have yet. So you can't call it a rebuild until it's built. That's what I think a term that gets too loosely thrown around. Oh, our rebuild, we're this part of our you don't have anything because you don't know. You don't know what you have. You don't know if it's a rebuild yet. There's no foundation. There's no structure. Your coach has a losing record. You can't score. You can't stop anybody. Look at Miami. All their investment on their defensive side of the ball, they can't stop anybody. They truly can't stop anybody. Like on a bad offensive day, the Bills rolled 35. That was a bad offensive day for the Bills. The LOL Finns probably will get it together, but New England looks. I think that those two obviously battling. Huge Marino guy, yeah, it's easy to say. Huge, yeah. Like most of the old heads were Marino guys. I mean, if there's any greasy guys left, I don't know. They're really old. I think I knew one, and I haven't seen him in a long time, so I don't want to say anything negative or bad, but I hadn't seen the guy. He was old and I hadn't seen him, but he would talk about Bob Greasy. So yeah, so like it was a really nice win to see. There was a lot of great plays and the pass plays that were big. I mean, the deep one to the pass that he hit to Sanders. Once Sanders got a step on his man before the safety, reminded me of the Diggs catch in the playoff game against the Colts. It was just one of those where Allen just has a ton of confidence, lets it rip, knows his man. He knows his man's got the step. He gets it there with just the right amount of touch before the safety gets over. And there was another one coming across the middle. Sanders caught it, and he took a hell of a shot. The corner peeled off his man. He popped Sanders. Held on to the football. Sanders is a tough son of a bitch, man. Tough son of a bitch. You didn't realize how tough he is. And I think that's the difference between him and John Brown. Maybe he's not explosive as John Brown was. I think he's aged better. But he is deceptively fast. He gets open very, very easily. And his route running is amazing. And he's very, very like he's a little bit more physical than John Brown. I think he's a more physical player than John Brown was. Not to besmirch John Brown or kick John Brown because he was a really nice player for the Bills. But he's that. Diggs had a nice day. It wasn't great, but it was a nice day. He caught what he doing his high step, run out of bounds, don't take the big hit, get down, just very savvy, good routes. Beasley, like everybody's pointed out, was Beasley again. It was just a nice day overall. Gabe Davis caught the one long. Was it a third and it was a third 10 plus first big third down of the day. He caught a 23-yard pass and got the Bills going for their first touchdown drive. Outside of that, he didn't catch. They just really haven't been in the 10 personnel a lot. If he's in there, he's spelling either Beasley or Diggs or Sanders, and it's a run play. And it's just like, he's really not, but we know what he's capable of. And he's a sponge. He's soaking up what he can get from those other players. So I have a ton of confidence in him still. But it is nice to see where Dawson is picking up those snaps that Gabriel would have got. He's producing, he's scoring, he's adding in the run game, he's blocking, is it's getting better. Like, I don't notice him. He's not a deficiency. I remember that one. You remember the first Baltimore game back in 2019? Judon just blew him up, and I believe he was a rookie, and strip sacked Josh Allen. And you're not seeing those lapses from him in the blocking. He's picking up his guys when the ball is hitting his hands. He's catching it. Tough catches too, difficult catches. That back shoulder throw is not easy catch. Like contorting your body around, catching it on the run, and he made that look like a wide receiver. So I think his ascension is on the way up. Like I want to see there's a big game from him coming. Like 5+ catches, 80+ yards, touchdown or two. That there's one coming. Read some of the comments here. A couple of miscues on overthrows to Diggs on the deep ball. Not worried that can. Yeah, that's gonna come, man. I didn't think. I thought maybe there was a little contact on the first one. A little bit of contact. There was the one where I think he rushed it. I think if he had like a tick longer, he would have hit him. I remember the exact play you're talking about. And then the other one, they just had a miscommunication on the route. He threw it short. Diggs was continuing. I don't know what the hiccup was there, but overall, can't complain. Houston, we're in trouble. Take playing the Bills next week. Singletary and Maul. Yeah, they like I said when I started, the Bills quietly are building a nice run game. They're building a nice run game. They are starting to use Gilliam more in that traditional fullback role in certain spots. If you notice, when they go into, I believe it's 22. I think that's 22 personnel. I think it's or 21 personnel. I think it's 21 personnel. Don't quote me on that. What's up, Eric? How you doing, bro? Eric was at the game today. Had great seats. He posted it on Instagram. He's a lucky SOB because he had a beautiful view of that offensive display. So he got a really nice show today. And I was thinking about it earlier. You see a guy like Eric, young guy, he's not 30 yet. Not to talk your information, Eric. This is probably the best offensive. Like nobody went to the games last year, only in the playoffs. This is probably the best game that he's ever seen live. The best offensive game from a quarterback he's ever seen live was today, which is like nice. That's what you want to start building those memories, having the young fans come to the game. A guy like Eric has kids in a few years. He brings his kids to the games like, hey, this is what it's about. So we don't lose a generation of fans. You know what I mean? 30 this stuff. So I knew you were still young, still a young guy. So I've got you by over a decade, dude. I'm old. But yeah, man, because we lost a generation of fans rooting for this or that team, obviously, because the organization was not in good shape. No quarterback, as we all know. But this is how we can start really building that bedrock fan base. And we've always had it. You know what? Strike that. We have a fantastic fan base that filled that building through a lot of shitty football, bad weather, both. And they kept coming back for more. So, but this, you really get the young fans. Best offensive game since Miami last year. There was some good ones, man. I mean, we had New England, curb stomped them. The one in Denver was good. I mean, Miami, Jesus, just 50 point. I mean, it was a really good game. I'll put it on par with, similar to the, San Francisco game in Arizona. Similar caliber team, especially San Francisco didn't have their quarterback. They had their good pass rushers though today. And if you're Washington and if you've invested that much draft capital on defense, that was a bad defense. You have They have 4 first rounders on their front four. 4. Ron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young. That's a first overall pick. A guy I think they traded up for Montez Sweat, and 2 top 20 picks. They drafted Jamon Davis. They paid Landon Collins a lot of money. Their corner situation is Kendall Fuller, guys of that ilk, William Jackson. Apparently, the Bills' offensive lineman said he was the best guy up there. Everything I read from Feliciano, Dion Dawkins, Mitch Morse, it was Jonathan Allen was the guy they talked about. All right. Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. Thanks for stepping in, bro. I really appreciate it, Tom. Eric, great game. Was nice. Yeah, accustomed to seeing Bills' best players were their best players on both sides of the ball. Yeah, they're guys. I mean, even it's not going to be in the stat. I mean, it is in the stat sheet, but just that was a third down. I believe it was to Logan Thomas. I believe that was a third down conversion. Trey White peanut punches that ball out, and there's Matt Milano, and then we're in business. It's just like boom, we double up right there. That's 14-0. We end up putting it on him. That ended up with the touchdown to Moss from Allen, and it's hard to pick an MVP on this defense because Milano is playing like a man possessed. Tremaine is playing his best football. We haven't seen him like look lost. He tipped a pass today that could have been intercepted, went right back to Heineke. Taron Johnson is playing fucking amazing. I didn't notice Levi Wallace or Dane Jackson today. Didn't see their names called at all, which means they were good. I looked at Heineke's numbers. He was around 50% completion. But if you look at it, if he doesn't have that 79-yard screen, his numbers are shit. And granted, it's part of the game. It was a great play. Bills got caught cheating, trying to rush upfield a little too fast. Gave 2 offensive linemen and a running back free access to our second level, and the rest is history. Outside of that, his numbers were shit. Friends and family touchdown. Yeah, that one you saw it live, Eric. I saw it on the TV, and it looked nasty because he. You know what happened? I don't know if you could see it on in the stadium. Heineke bobbled the ball just a little bit, and then he tried to reestablish that he had it, and then he tried to sneak down the line, and then he went backwards, and I was like, he was toast. There was another play. You probably saw it if you stayed, where he hit Heineke after Heineke threw the ball. Oh, on TV, you see how Heineke's face. I thought it was Epinesa, but it was Milano. I was shocked he didn't get flagged. I was like, how did he not get flagged? Because it was a clean football play, but you know how these refs are. They see a quarterback take a big hit. It's like they're just like they're pulling flags out of their ass. But Milano has played excellent. Excellent. AJ Ruseo, they look good in the run. There's another thing, you miss. The Bills' run defense has been really good. They're allowing 77 yards a game. Teams really haven't. I mean, if they had tried to establish a run, it hasn't been good. They haven't faced a run team just yet. But having Starr back, Ruseo is a starting player on this football team now. Addison and Hughes are rotational, and it's mainly with Epinesa, as I don't see Ruseo come off the field at all. And Epinesa is, I know Ruseo has the sacks, and he's got the fanfare with the first-round pick and the stature and all. Not that Epinesa hasn't gotten his attention. He's our best pass rusher right now because he is Eric probably saw it better than I did. How many times did they have him, dude? And he just snuck out of there. You saw it in the stadium. So he just like a little snake. He slithered out of there. It was just like, drove me nuts. And you and Eric, please tell me if there were holding, because I saw at least 4 or 5 holds. You were in the stadium. Fox's replays were trash. They didn't show shit. I know they were holding our guys. I know there was 4 or 5 holds on Washington that were not called. I'm gonna read Tom. Man, some of you guys are really lucky to be at the game. Yeah, Star being back helps a lot. Our linebackers healthy, young, flying around, and we haven't been bit. I mean, scary incident late in the game. Poyer looked like he took a knock, but he got right back up. He looked frustrated. I think he was frustrated about them giving up that play more so than anything, but he said he would be fine. But knock on wood. Damager Milano is the MVP. Got paid. He's playing like an MVP. He's playing like a man that got paid, and he wants to earn his money, which is awesome. Eric, yeah, he was a magician, like I thought many times. And I when I'm watching the game, dude, and I'm like, they got him, and then all of a sudden he's like fucking out. I'm like, what the fuck? How'd they not get him? There was a time it was on the left side. Fucking Epinesa did Charles Leno dirty, is coming hard. He reaches, and this little bastard snuck, and the pocket was right in his face. He bounces off, and then he's still on his feet, and he runs. I think he threw it away, or threw it incomplete. But still, it's just, I was like, get him down. Just drove me nuts, man. Midnight Strikes Back. I saw a couple just like Miami last week. There was a video of left tackle Miami holding all game. Yeah, I mean, they were just, dude, that Miami offensive line is, I mean, watching that Raider game today, there was I don't know if you guys watched any of the end, but Max Crosby comes in against Austin Jackson, and like Malcolm Brown is helping Austin Jackson, and Max Crosby still gets the sack. Like, he literally drove both of them back to Jacoby Brissett and got the sack. I was like, woof. I mean, that's a first-round pick right there. So they're in for it. I got to dip, guys. It's, yep. All right, bro. Have a good one, man. Stay safe over there, dude. Is it Dankeschön? I don't mind. Mean Deutsch. Not good. Aaron says this defense heard all the noise last season. Well, no preseason, no camp, really. No time to get in a rhythm. Remember, our linebackers got hurt week 1 right off the rip. They never really got healthy till like after week 10, 11. Star opted out. Epinesa was inactive for the first game last year. Really didn't get his feet under him till maybe late, if at all, but wasn't really a regular part of the rotation. We had that little hiccup with our corners mid-season. But even last year, late last year, they stabilized it, calmed it down, started playing some good defense. This year, out of the gate, they're playing great defense. So, I mean, if you look at it in totality, I mean, I don't know what the averages are, but, and the special teams gave up one of those touchdowns. I mean, what was it? Jesus, 55 points in 3 games. They're really playing well. Yeah, he didn't do anything. I was in shock. Yeah, I was in shock. Phillips was out. Which Phillips, Damager? Still can't believe that kickoff gaff. What did it look like? What did it look like on TV? Because I saw it, dude. And when I saw it like arc like that and come down, I didn't even have to see the finish of the play. I knew Washington was going to end up with that fucking ball. And it was the kicker of all people who recovered it. I was like, they're going to get this fucking ball. They're going to get it. Oh, Harrison Phillips. Yeah, he was inactive today. And that's another thing too, is like eventually, you know how it is. Boogie Basham's going to get put it when this coaching staff activates Basham, we'll know he's ready, because we know this staff, they don't care where guys are drafted. They don't care first rounders, second rounders. Hell, they were starting Jordan Phillips and Harrison Phillips over Ed Oliver, a top 10 pick in his rookie year, till he had to earn his way back on the field. But when they activate Boogie, we'll know that he's ready to roll. And then, you know what? I think we're gonna have, like some terrors, just some terrors coming off the edge. And you can move them inside, outside, which is gonna be awesome to see. Yeah, that wind. Eric sent me a nice little video of the wind. The flags are really going. It didn't affect the Bills at all. Passing wise, it did not affect the Bills. Kicking did not affect the Bills. Heineke, it looked like affected his passes a little bit. Read some of the comments here. The kickoff, oh my God, did it piss me off, because it just took away a possession. I felt like the Bills, would have been pissed, would have went back down and maybe put a field goal on the board, minimum, calm the game down. But they stabilized it right after that. They got a 3 and out. They got 3 points, and then they got the cheap 3 before the half. So that was nice to see. Think Phillips might be a trade casualty. I don't know. It's possible, but one thing is clear. Like I said last week, Justin Zimmer is the 3rd defensive tackle in the pecking order. It's Starr, Oliver, and Zimmer, and then Butler, because the other guys seem out. I mean, we have FA. He's still around. We were all excited about him, so we still have him on the back burner. We still have Basham on the back burner. They really value having Hughes and Addison as veteran guys. So I think they view it as, we just have fresh bodies, to just keep rolling through. And I think they view it as a good problem to have. I don't think they want to have only 4 defensive tackles. So I think, or 3. 4. So I think Harrison stays around. This is his last year in terms of having a contract with the Bills. So go Washington. We will win next time. Whatever you say, dude. Good game, though, today. That wind held the ball up longer. I don't know if it was a short kick on purpose. It might have been on purpose. They might have caught the Bills sleeping there. They might have. I'm not going to put it past them, because their guys were charging hard, and the Bills did not look ready for it. They did not look ready for it. It looked like the wind tied it up in the air. McKenzie just misplayed it. He got it. The short man, what should have happened was the up man should have caught it. McKenzie charged for it. The ball hits the ground. The Washington guy gets it. The Bills guy hits him. The ball goes flying, and it lands right on the kicker. Just is right there. Johnny literally right there. He's literally right there. And it was just like, But like I said, old Bills teams, after something like that, after giving up a 79-yard screen touchdown, you're up 21-0. You give up that 79-yard screen touchdown. Okay, same situation. Remember, I think it's week 15 or week 16 of 2012 or 11. I'm not sure. One of those years. It might even have been 10. I think it's 2011. Ryan Fitzpatrick in New England, Changeli, Bills are up 21-0 on the Patriots. Bills lost that game by over 21 points because they just got complacent, started making mistakes, doing what the Bills do. Oh, Jimmy G just got picked off. Jari Alexander just played center field, and whoa, what a nice play. They have a good one. I don't know if it's the best, but it's a good one. I mean, when you get a 35-0 shutout and then you put a 40 burger up to half the yield of the points, I mean, it's going to be pretty good. I just want wins. Week 1 still pisses me the fuck off, like it does all of you guys, because I told you I sounded like a homer, a bitter pill, whatever. I said, telling you right now, Bills play this game on Monday. Bills play this game tomorrow. After that Pittsburgh, they would win that fucking game. The Bills would have won the next day. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. They would have won that game. Yeah, he You know what it is? Our ends, we're so caught up in the pass rush with Epinesa and Ruseo. Their length really helps our run defense because their long arms, it makes running backs redirect, kind of slow down. They see all this traffic in front of them. And you notice we're not really giving up those long runs to the outside. We're not really getting gashed, when we're stout up the middle. And it just seems like everything is really playing. And that's just really impressive. And teams haven't really tried to run on us just yet, but 70 set, was it 77 yards a game? That's nothing. That's just, we're just minuscule. Yeah. And it's nice. We say that, right? Trevor, the Bengals beat the Steelers today. Would be nice. They got to play the Steelers without TJ Watt. They got to play the Steelers. I don't know if they had Hayden today. I don't know if they had Devin Bush today. I know they weren't on the field last week. I know the Raiders didn't have to play against them last week. I know TJ Watt went out at halftime of the game last week or in the second quarter. You're going to beat a Steelers team like that. Bills played them full strip, and I still feel like the Bills win that game, no matter what. Midnight, I remember that. Yeah, it was they were up. But this game, you know what? 14-21. They got the field goal, got it back to 10 points, got the ball back with 35 seconds, have all three of their timeouts, and it is the tried and true. We look for all these crazy things to try to figure out what a good coach, a bad coach is, middling coach. How well does he organize the building? How good of a delegator is he? How confident is he in his own skin, where he doesn't feel like he has to be a taskmaster and a dickhead and treat everybody like trash, like a Tom Donahoe or guys like that? How well on a game day does he use his timeouts and his challenges? How well does he allocate those? That's the way to really, really okay, the coach has the game management thing down. He's got the pulse of the game down. He feels it. I watch bad coaches week in and week out just totally blow that. My girl's texting me, where's Mila's video? I want Mila's thank you to Josh Allen video. Because she was right. She called the game. My girl's little sister, man. She's like, right before we went to play games and bowl, she almost had 400 yards. I was hoping, but you know what? That we're just kind of like the last rushing touchdown was nice. So he had 5 touchdowns. Chiefs, Patriots, Dolphins, all before you came in, Eric, I said it. We won twice today. We won at home, our team. We won on the out of town scoreboard. And dude, how lucky are the Ravens to get out of Detroit with a win? I stopped watching. Thankfully, I had a feed up. I still had it up. It allows me to rewind it. And I was like, how'd they get the 4th and 19? I stopped watching. And then all of a sudden, the timeline on the Twitter is 66-66. And it's like Jason Tucker. I'm like, oh, my God. You're kidding me, dude. You're kidding me, man. It drove me nuts, man. Everybody, I mean, I was watching something, Trevor, and somebody, I don't know who it was. He's a guy. He comes on the Bills pretty regularly. You guys can tell me who he is. I think he does the football morning. He's one of the football morning guys. He's a big Bills hype guy. They always have him on One Bills Live. I forget his name, but it is true. If you look at it, you take a step back. Week 1 is a liar. Week 1 really does tell a lot of lies. It builds up a lot of falsehoods. You think maybe you're better than you are. You're worse than you are. Look, after week 1, us Bills fans, trust me, it's like the sky's falling. We should have not lost this game at home. We should have not done it. We beat ourselves. There was a ton of plays left on the field. We handed them a touchdown. And it's very fucking frustrating when you lose a game like that in the division, in the conference. Sorry, not in the division. And then the pressure's ratcheted up because you got to go on the road in the division against a team that just pulled out a late victory. You don't want to lose that game, not by any way, stretch, or form. You win that one, you go back home where you stumbled 2 weeks ago. You know, that's a scrappy team. Washington, for all the Kyle Brandt, you got it, Eric. Yeah, he said week 1 is a liar. Like, don't believe it. And that is true to a lot of this Packers team, they're not that bad. We know Aaron Rodgers is not that bad. That's just an insane thing that happened. You know, they weren't ready. And what I attributed it to, the NFL always does this crap. They get bored during the offseason. They have these meetings and say, we have to change something. We have to act like we're doing something. So let's change something. I don't mind them making preseason shorter. I don't mind it. But if you're going to add a 17th game, you don't need to make the distance in between the third game and the opener 2 full weeks. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Just keep it the Thursday, the mini bye, which is the Thursday to the not the following Sunday, but the Sunday after. That's it. That's the way it was always done as long as I could remember. And it was fine. It was fine like that. Everybody has like their time to just get everybody healthy, go right back to it, and have a full week of practice. And you know what? They don't lose anything really. You add 2 weeks because it was the Labor Day, and some guys went away. Some guys left and then came back. So you're going to get, this is the first time we look like our offense for 2 weeks. There was some plays baked into last week, but this is the first time offensively that we look like ourselves. But a team like the Rams has looked good offensively for 3 straight weeks with a new quarterback and a new system. Granted, he's a veteran, highly talented with a great play caller, a lot of weapons. So they have some advantages. Their schedule has been decent, so I got to give them credit. But it's still like, for us, our quarterback, even though he's a young veteran, he's still young. Like, I still think, there's a lot of growth for him left. Like McDermott says, I think there's a lot of growth for him. And I think the growth is within himself, like learning how to manage his competitive drive. Like when you see him, and it makes you feel good. Like for me, when I see him in these press conferences saying how bad he wants it and how hard he is on himself and how he wants to be the best quarterback for the Bills, he doesn't want to let his teammates down. That's a wet dream. That is a wet dream. Because we've had so many, like the only quarterback that we really had that kind of, like, even close to that kind of voice was Fitz. Since Flutie or Kelly, nothing close. Yeah, Rodgers is insane. And everybody just loses their shit over week 1. The Saints rebounded after a bad week last week, go up to New England and win. So the cliches are so true in the NFL, the week-to-week league. Like, you hear it from Hyde and Poyer, and you hear it from McDermott. You hear it from, it's like the message is totally clear. Last week doesn't translate to this week, week-to-week league. It's like right now, you can't tell me like those football junkies at One Bills Drive aren't like cleaning up the tape from today, coaching wise, getting it prepared for the guys in the morning, and then they're right on to Houston. Like, I think they get a 12-hour rule. I think they go in, watch the film, say, great job, guys, we're on to Houston. I don't even think they get a 24-hour rule. I don't think it's jitters, Trevor. I think it's just like he's so like amped up to do well. Like I'm not saying he's not a mental midget. He's very composed. He looked calm today. He had some hellacious pass rushers. We've seen a little clip where he steps out. They're walking out of the tunnel. He steps out really quick and gives Chase Young a pound. And he's like, like, hey, dude, good game today. Does McDermott sleep? Probably sleeps in the building. What's up, Brian? You came in. There's always room, man. You're going through a hard time, dude. Like I know some fans. It's tough. Yeah, Sanders looked good, man. I mean, that pass, I mean, you see it live. We see it on TV. That pass that Allen threw to him where he's rolling to his right and he hits Sanders on the run, going low. That's an insane play, man. That's a Josh Allen touchdown pass. The back shoulder to Knox. That's you when your offense is firing and hitting on those plays, you're hard to stop. And I was really confident when I saw those plays come to fruition early. Even it was, at that time it was 21-0. They have given up 2 touchdowns. I was like, they're not going to keep us from scoring. There is no way in hell that defense is going to stop the Bills offense from scoring at all. Brian, crazy start to the season. Thoughts on Moss and Singletary really, nailed it down last week. Moss had a fumble, but after that, he ran hard, scored 2 tough touchdowns. He caught a touchdown today. He ran really, really well. I think we just got a nice 1-2 punch, and Breida's just kind of insurance right now. He's kind of like the TJ Yeldon of this year, like Yeldon was last year. He just, Moss, I call them the M&M boys have earned their spot. Bills quietly have a nice little run game. It's not saying it's great, stable of their offense, but it's nice. It's nice to have that, man. Man, did Miami make a mistake? A lot of teams did, man. A lot of teams made a mistake by not drafting him. I think, you look at some of the offensive linemen that went ahead of him, but, his size, his arm talent, he looks like it's not too big for him. I think a lot of people overthought it. That's why I'm just not a fan. And I know they put some good players in the league, good players, but their quarterbacks are so tricky because they've got 5-star recruits all on the perimeter at wide receiver. Look at the amount of Bama wide receivers that are in the league. I mean, the Bills played one, and I think Sims today? Cam Sims, I think he's a former Alabama guy, couldn't even get on the field for them. Robert Foster, former Bill, remember him? Couldn't get on. I mean, he had a nice little part of 18, but he could barely get on the field for the Bills. He was on the field. I mean, they're so loaded. OJ Howard, I mean, he's lost in the Tampa Bay offense, but, stud at Alabama. They're just a factory, and it's really hard to figure out who's who in that team. And it's like, can this guy be a guy because he's surrounded by so many studs? You know what I mean? Midnight, Herbert and Allen both look like I think Allen's got better arm talent. He's better. I think he's better mobile too. He throws better moving around. Herbert can move nicely. He moves around well, but he's more of the classic drop back, throw the ball type of passer. He wants to win from the pocket. I think Allen wants to win from the pocket too, but Allen does a lot of damage when he moves around the pocket, escapes the pocket. But Herbert is a good player. He's a really good player. I mean, and they've seemed to try to find a way losing games. I mean, I think they should have beat Dallas last week. They definitely should have beat Dallas. And then they're 3-0. So, but they're 2-1 right now. And they have a good young team. They have a lot of good players. A lot of good players. Is the game against the Chiefs in a few weeks a one? Anything is anytime you're playing a good team like that, I don't care if KC is 1-4. They're a good team. They're going to be hard as hell to play against. It's early in the season. It's only 3 games. It's, this game doesn't mean anything compared to that game. Different. I mean, it's like football games are like fights. Styles make fights. And you have different styles. Sometimes one style looks good against another style. It's like Pacquiao versus Mayweather. 2 great names, 2 iconic boxers, but their styles are the same. They're counter fighters. But against Mayweather, Pacquiao didn't want to engage as much because he knows he can't make the same mistakes he makes and gets away with against other fighters. Like, he couldn't do that with Mayweather because Mayweather would make him pay. because Mayweather has the talent, he has the acumen. But like styles, Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, they're made for each other. They're peanut butter and jelly. They go together. They're just, you put them in the ring, beautiful things happen. You put, and they're not near on the, they're nowhere near the caliber of the other two. You put the other two in the ring, it's just, yeah, Garoppolo looks just hit a nice pass to Jusek, though. They run a lot of classic two back, one tight, two wide receiver, West Coast offense. Read some of the comments here. Strikes back. Both are super tall, hard to take. Yeah, they're you know. Garoppolo looks shook. He's kind of inaccurate. Nah, I'm not a real fan of his. I don't like his act. He's okay. I just think that he tries to highlight people too much. You know, he doesn't. I think he can finish guys. I just think he looks for like this awesome finish that's just. I just think he can just, you know, fight a normal. Oh, there goes Garoppolo. He's down. He could just be, you know, his own self. He doesn't try to be Anderson Silva 2.0 or anybody like that. But you know, then there's great fighters that make great. Like the other example is there's two great fighters who make a great fight. Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe. I mean, you put them in the ring, two of the greatest heavyweights of their era, maybe all time. Amazing. The last true great heavyweight fights were those two guys. Sorry to go off on boxing tangents, but it's to my truth. Casey will figure it out. Yeah, Casey's, I mean, they got a lot of talent, man. They've been to 2 straight Super Bowls. Pat Mahomes is he's a great quarterback. He makes tons of great plays. That's what makes him special. We know their weapons. They have a Hall of Fame play caller at head coach. They're going to be fine. You know, they lost a couple of games, close games. My only criticism is if Allen makes some of the same mistakes, whether the team win or lose, if Allen makes some of the same mistakes or tries to make some of the same passes, the criticism that he would get would be 20-fold compared to what Mahomes gets. It's like even in a win last week, Lamar Jackson, some of those 2 early interceptions were just bad. More so the first one was on Sammy Watkins for not running his route correctly. The second one was on him. He threw in the triple coverage down in plus territory. Then he fumbled, you know, late the week before. You know, I think he fumbled twice. And just Allen just always looks like he's always going to be a whipping boy for certain media heads. He just always will. I mean, you saw the criticism after 2 weeks where he didn't play his best. It's like, oh my God, told you, there's the real Josh Allen. They gave him all that money. Look, I mean, you want to talk about a couple of douchebags. Michael Lombardi, who's a Bill Belichick bath boy. Oh my God. You guys want to vomit? Go listen to that fucking guy. That guy is a douchebag. Like, he's a patriot truther, a Bill Belichick bathwater guzzler, because because the league is guys like him who have done nothing on their own, who are totally beholden to a guy like Belichick because everything they have in life is due to their mere association with them. I made him a good cup of coffee. Bill Belichick gave me a ringing endorsement. He got me a ton of GM jobs I did not deserve, nor did I end up keeping because he was fired from all of them. Name me one thing Michael Lombardi has done except have Vince Lombardi's last name in football. Name me one thing. Name me one player he's drafted. Yep, Nick Wright. There's another guy, but he's just he to me, like, he's sad because all he is, like, I see his shtick and I don't watch him, but I see other people put his crap. He may as well just work for the Kansas City Chiefs and go to the games and hold up Patrick Mahomes pom-poms every week, because that's his whole shtick every week. That's all he does. Like, I'm going to go on here and just basically rim out Patrick Mahomes. He acts like Patrick Mahomes' little brother acts. Like, that's how he acts. Like, dude, you sound like a fanboy. You don't sound like an objective journalist, media. Like, you're not going to get on there, and he's not going to get on there tomorrow and he's going to talk about how everything's going to be fine, and it probably will be, but he's not going to criticize Mahomes for anything. He's a fanboy. Yo, oh man, happy too, K Beats, really happy. Midnight's best lightweight MMA fighter right now. He's retired. To me, it's still Khabib. Still Khabib, but he's not going to fight again. But Michael Lombardi, I think another guy, he used to work for the Packers. He's their contract guy. He talks a lot of shit, acts like he knows a lot of stuff. I follow him because he runs half marathons and marathons. He's an older guy, so I like, if you guys know me well, you know I like to run and do all kinds of different like things like that. So this main reason I follow him. And he's got some okay insight sometimes, but he's another one. It's like talks a lot of crap. Big Packers truther, used to work for them, so okay, whatever. But some of his opinions are a little condescending and a little erudite for me. But there's certain guys in the media. Mike Tannenbaum's another guy. What has he done except I didn't even know if it's success with that Rex Ryan thing in New York. That's Mike Tannenbaum appearing on Hard Knocks with Rex Ryan. You know, talking about Darrelle Revis's contract. He talks a little bit of junk. It's like, dude, you went and made a bigger mess in Miami than anybody. Wasn't he part of hiring Adam Gase? Like, you hired Adam Gase as a head coach, dude, or were part of that discussion. Like, what the hell? I mean, seriously? Eric Mangini's another guy. He's a dick. He ratted out the Patriots, though. You know, without Eric Mangini, we don't really know what cheaters the Patriots are. Will we do eventually? Yeah, he does want clicks. You like the NFL Network guys? I know Nate Burleson. Was he on there? I think he went somewhere else. I think he's on ESPN now. Midnight Strikes Back. I never listened to the Talking Heads because 8 out of 10 times. Yeah, I mean, they were right, though. I saw a lot of guys, because people are going to post the predictions and the prognostications and whatnot. Everybody really did pick the Bills this week. I didn't see anybody picking Washington. They didn't buy into the win last week against the Giants because they knew at the end of the day, it's like, look, Heineke threw a pick, a bad interception. You watch that game, that pick that Bradbury got was like, dude, that was a sitter. Like, he drove on that ball. Well, just similar to the pick, just a different part of the field that Poyer got today. It's like he's, the league's figuring him out. Like, they're figuring out what he likes, what he doesn't like. And you saw it today. It was, I didn't see the illegal contact that negated Teron Johnson's interception. I didn't see that because they didn't show the replay. I saw that cheap blindside block. That was what are they playing out there? Patty cake? But so, I didn't see anybody pick the Washington football team to do anything against the Bills. I think the league knew it's like, okay, this team, they're going to figure it out. And like I said, if you're Washington and you've allocated all that draft capital to that defense and it looks like that, and you have defensive coaches like Rivera, Del Rio, supposedly coaching that defense up, that's bad. Bills scorched them today. And it could have been a hell of a lot worse. A hell of a lot worse. Baldy's a good guy. Like, he'll have some good stuff this week about the offensive line play and stuff like that. Like, he makes it fun. He makes it fun. I don't watch the First Take shows. I really don't watch any sports TV. I mainly listen to some podcasts, catch some clips on Twitter. I'll maybe see some stuff on YouTube, but I will not sit down in front of a television and watch those shows. I just don't have the time or the desire. I'd rather talk to you guys about sports, to be quite honest with you. This is my bar guy sports talk time. Love Baldy honesty with all his takes. Greg Cosell, Greg Cosell comes on. I think he's on Bills Friday. He's on One Bills Live on Friday. he's an old school guy, NFL films guy. He has a lot of good insights. He was talking about Allen last week. They went back to some of the better passes Allen threw were off of play action. Just a little thing with his feet where he was kind of leaving his feet to throw a pass. I know the one incomplete to Diggs deep right sideline, he jumped because he didn't want to get hit at his legs. I knew he did that, and it made the pass. Like if he would have had another second, he could have hit that pass. But he jumped because he didn't want to get hit below the legs. I don't know who was coming, but it was one of the ends. I don't know if it was Sweat or Young. I think it was Chase Young. And the only way you see the dreads, like the long braids, the blonde braids, it's Chase Young. The guy, it must be frustrating to be a player like that and or at least a fan and not have the sack production and see, because I'd be fucking, if I was a Washington fan, I'd be pissed. Trevor, I think Allen is just a guy who needs to keep his lower body mechanics in check. Yeah, because his arm is insane. Like he's just a specimen out there. Just check. Can't believe we had only one. We had one sack. Who had the sack, Soda? I didn't think we got a sack today. Who had the sack? You got me with that one because I didn't think we had one. Eric says there was a pass downfield. I forgot to who, but the DB never turned around to look back at the ball. There was no flag thrown, but that's why Levi was called for PI for week 1. Oh, was it in the end zone to Diggs? Starr had a sack? Holy shit. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know he had it. It must have been in the grasp, or my feed was excellent. I didn't miss one play. It was on time. Like I was ahead of all the none of the beat guys had anything before me, even with the 15-second TV delay. Oh, he went out. Oh, okay. It was one of those sacks, Jason. Okay. I haven't seen you in a while, Jason. How you doing, bro? You're on Twitter though. I see you on there. According to ESPN. Yeah, their stats are pretty good. They have pretty good, reliable stats. He got a touch sack out of bounds. I mean, take it, right? Allen broke the franchise record. I think he broke it for rushing touchdowns, and he tied for quickest, I think, last week to 10,000 yards. Another thing, too, like you talk about Kelly and Allen's stats, correlate those two. Kelly was 26 when he was a rookie. Allen is still 25. Allen is still 25. Right? Allen is still 25, and he has so much time ahead of him. It's insane. Yeah, Connor Hughes, Jets offensive lineman Greg Van Rotten said that Zach Wilson needs to learn how to get rid of the ball. Get the ball out, he says. Let me see if there's anything else. Nick Wright had the Bills on upset alert last week against the Dolphins. They won 15-0. Nick Wright had the Bills on upset work again. This is Ryan Talbot. He stated Tyler Haneke was a better quarterback than Josh Allen. See, like you know what? I didn't see that stuff, and that you just read things like that, and the guy is just a douchebag who has no credibility. Like, dude, you have no credibility. You're talking about a guy who had 4 starts. Heineke, I said it in the beginning of the video. He's scrappy. He's going to play in the league a long time because he's scrappy. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick 2.0. As long as he can stay healthy, he's tough. He's definitely mobile. He has good pocket awareness. He's hard to get a hold of. He's got a lot of moxie. He plays fearless. He's gonna win some games in this league, and he's gonna make plays, but he's gonna have plays made against him like we saw today. That's gonna be his MO, because as a physical talent, he can't afford to not have those kind of plays. So, but when you read those kind of things, like Ryan reposted, he's just a douchebag. Like, dude, like you're on ESPN. It's like Stephen A. Smith, who doesn't not know that Hunter Henry is on IR, and he's talking about fantasy stuff, and he's talking about Hunter Henry, It's like, dude, the guy's on IR. What are you talking about? Like, do you and we forget this, or maybe we don't. Like, all these ESPN guys, they have an army of interns and people feeding them information on the teleprompter and production meetings and stuff. And the amount of stuff that they get wrong is egregious. It is pathetic. And that's what happens when you get a bunch of friends and family hires and nepotism hires and all that type of stuff. You try to keep things all pearly white. You make things look like unprofessional and messy and sloppy. Nobody likes that. Hated that Kelly played in arena football instead of for the Bills. Man, the clip is still on YouTube. You can go find it. He said, you know what? You can play football in Houston. You can play in Buffalo, but I can say other reasons why it's better, but I'll stop right there. Like he was vilified for the Bills by Buffalo for a long time for that statement alone and not wanting to play there. But, you know, once he got there, the rest is history, man. So far, 7 TDs, 1 interception. You know what? He'll be fine, man. I'm not worried about Allen. He'll be fine. Like he's going to get it together. Stephen A was a basketball guy. You know, he was a basketball guy that tries to talk about all these other sports now. When he starts talking about MMA and box, I was just like, dude, like you can barely even talk football. Don't even bother with that stuff. Eric, yeah, Moss looked good, man. Like I said this a couple of times, and you saw it live today. The Bills quietly have a nice little run game. They quietly, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's like the 49ers run game when they're clicking on all cylinders or the Ravens, but it's a nice run game. When you have Allen, because he's part of their run game. You have Moss, you have Motor. They give you that little bit of a 1-2 punch. And they, you know what? You look at this week, the way they played, that keeps Breed on the inactive next week. And having a 5th running back up on game day is just a luxury because it's like 2 snaps. You could have another DB, another linebacker, defensive lineman up. You know what? This week it was Andre Smith. So today was the first game, too. Today marked the first game a Bills defender. I believe, I don't know this for a fact. So if I'm wrong, find out. But to my knowledge, this is the first game I've ever watched. I know this for a fact. It's the first game I ever watched today, or any of us, that a Bills defender had a single digit in an NFL game. Number 9, Andre Smith, linebacker. And, oh, my God. Is that a touchdown? Oh, he's out of bounds at the 4. You saw that pass that Aaron Rodgers just hit Devontae Smith with? That was beautiful. Read some of the comments here. Eric, yeah, Moss, he did, man. He tough yards. That's what I like. I'm a fan of tough yards. Motor gets the pretty yards, and I'm a fan of those. He does finish his run strong, but Moss just runs through contact. Gets his pad level nice and low. With some angry runs. I loved it. I love seeing I did like seeing Josh get a rushing touchdown, though. I like that. Anytime Josh scores, I just love it. Stephen A. Smith saying we had Sammy Watt. Did he say that, dude? Really? Like, man, that's sad. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, so he made sure he got himself one. Still love Kelly. Yeah. I have the picture. It's kind of like cool, and I'm glad I have it. I'm going to keep it. It's one that I think, depending on where this all goes in 10 years, if Allen wins one for real, it was Allen's first training camp. And Jim Kelly has the glasses on. He came out of like his 3rd cancer surgery. He probably looked as bad as I've ever seen him, but he was recovering. He had lost a lot of weight. He had sunglasses. He had a cane, and he meets Allen. And you see, Allen's young, still fresh face. Like, he's still pretty fresh face now, but he's clean shaven. And it's just like, there's the guy, old, so many bouts with cancer, and there's our new hope we know nothing about. And it's just those two talking. I'll post it. It's just, if that'll be an iconic photo to me. That'll be an iconic photo. It is an iconic photo to me a little bit, but it will be. I'm going to read some of the comments here. Oh, Steve's in. I hope Allen makes the adjustment. Yeah, he definitely made. He hit I thought the one to Diggs, I said earlier, he jumped because he didn't want to get hit at his legs. The other one, left sideline, they had a route communication. He thought Diggs was going to come back. I think Diggs kept going. He just carried the route upfield. The other one, the one that I felt like he was off the most, was to Sanders. He had Sanders. Shallow crosser, all he had to do, nice light touch. He rifled it. That was late. The game was already in hand. But again, 74.4% completion, 358, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 22-point win. Can't, really bitch too much. Trevor, I started Washington's defense in one of my leagues accidentally. Ooh. K Beats, thankfully I had Denver's D versus Zach, man. Yeah, I would play, honestly, like I've watched, I have usually Jets Giants on my TV, Bills in another game, but always Bills first and foremost on my computer, unless I can see the Bills on my TV, which is, if they play the Jets or if they have a national game. I would start every defense that plays the Jet offense. I would start every because they're rudderless, man. And that kid looks like he's 4 interceptions, almost always waiting to happen. He threw too late, but still, like there was times during that Denver game where they were like they had their hands on some balls. They should have had more. Read some of the comments here. Aaron Watson, AFC best case scenario for us today. New England, Miami, yep, all lost. We won. Like I said, we won off the scoreboard. Eric brought it up in the room. I said it earlier before he jumped in that we won on the out of town scoreboard. We won. And the fact that Baltimore got out of Detroit, who looks as toothless, I think, that's a case where you see a team thinking they're just going to go in somewhere and beat down a hapless Detroit team fresh off of a big victory at home versus KC. They finally get over that hump. It was a great victory for Baltimore. They were got caught resting on their laurels, thought they were just going to have a nice little away, hey, we're going to just go away here, fuck around and win by 20. Man, Detroit should have won that game. They mishandled at the end. They only rushed 3. I was reading one of the last plays and there was a clock management issue by Dan Campbell. He took a timeout, gave them time to regroup. I mean, that's sometimes when teams are scrambling and they're just looking they do the offense a favor. It's not like when McDermott, when McDermott takes that defensive timeout after a team, wants to do something, he takes that timeout. It's not like they have the game in hand. I see McDermott takes that timeout when the Bills have the game in hand. They just don't want to give up anything crazy, keep it in front of us. We saw maybe it was a dummy look, whatever. But they always take that. It's a spare timeout. It's not like a necessity timeout. When a team is trying to drive on you and they're scrambling, they have no timeouts. Let them scramble. Let them try to, perform in chaos with no time. Don't do them a favor. I hate that stuff. Oh, dude, you should see it now, Eric. It is pitchforks and torches down here, dude. I have 3 Giant friends. I feel really bad for them, man. They are demoralized as hell. They are like completely like Jet fans kind of expect it, but they're in really bad shape right now. Allen was phenomenal today. He missed a few throws. I mean, it's going to happen. Jets look abysmal. I mean, big kick return for the 49ers. And you know what, man? You bring up him. What do you use on mobile to watch? I have Comcast. I watch him on the computer, Steve. I have a good feed. It was pretty seamless. No hiccups today. Oh, the media's already got them, man. It's like they're starting. They're people, like their in-house media's like saying it's too early to panic, chill, this and that. But like the more like out of house media for the 2 teams are just or for both. Like sometimes you get some crossover coverage for both teams. They're eviscerating them. It is. Whew. If you want to listen to some entertaining sports radio, listen to Jets Giants tomorrow morning. That should be fun. K Beats love seeing the Jets terrible. Yeah, no, I meant to Trevor. Like, dude, like how does Joe Douglas, like how does that guy, and we heard all this crap, right? We hear it about all these dudes. They're such good football men. Oh, this is a good football guy. Oh, blah, 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 blah. We just hear it. He had some ties with Daniel Jeremiah, and Daniel Jeremiah told us he was a good football guy. It's like, first, Adam Gase was part of bringing him to the Jets, okay? He was in Chicago. They're not in great shape. He has some Baltimore ties, some Philly ties. Okay. Philly's in great shape right now. Was he a shot caller on draft day? He's been with the Jets for 2.5 seasons. He was a hand in making that roster last year. He's a hand in making this roster this year. I believe Gase brought him in the offseason of his first year there. He had a hand in that roster too. Even though it was 7-9, it was not a good roster. They went on that was the gift win the Bills gave them at the end of the year. And like they tried to say that was some building block. Sound like old Bills regimes. Oh, that's 7-9. Oh, build on that continuity. They're terrible. They're trash. Like, he's been there. It'd be like David Gettleman, who's been there for 4 years. That's his roster. Top to bottom, front to back. Like, you can't hide from that, dude. You're a good football man. You drafted a running back 2nd overall. They could have drafted Josh Allen. That's insane. You notice they never talk about that. They always like, when the establishment, the league establishment, like the establishment likes you, they don't hold your fat to the fire. Case in point, the football establishment does not really have anything to do with, care for, or probably know Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace. How can you tell? Because the 49ers that same year drafted Solomon Thomas, who's 2nd overall, who's now third overall maybe, who's now a backup defensive end or defensive tackle for the Raiders. They could have drafted Deshaun Watson. They could have drafted Patrick Mahomes, but the football establishment loves little Shanahan. They love little Kyle. You could hear it. The WGR guys love him. They love him. Even though he's farted away 2 Super Bowls with some play calling. They love him. They'll never criticize him. They like John Lynch. They'll never talk about them like that. They'll never flame them for that. They made just as bad a mistake, if not worse. Okay, Chicago traded with the 49ers and they took the now Bills backup quarterback Trubisky. Okay. They missed. 49ers had to trade a boatload of shit to take a kid this year. They made it to a Super Bowl with Garoppolo, but they're paying him a boatload of money. And obviously they don't think he's the guy. Otherwise, they don't draft Trey Lance. So nobody knows if he's the guy or he's not the guy because he hasn't played yet. But still, the football establishment likes him. And they don't like the other guys. Like, for example, they never say the Giants should have taken Josh Allen because there's certain people in the football world that have a voice or people like them because Josh Allen's an easy whipping boy. So they're never going to use him as the example of the Giants should have took him. Giants should have took Josh Allen. You won't hear that. They should have. The second that, because you can't say that they should have took anybody else. You could say they should have took Darnold. Okay, but still at this present point, should have said, should have took Josh Allen. Would I be wrong in saying that? But they didn't. They took a running back. It's not even like they tried to trade down, maybe take Quentin Nelson, Bradley Chubb, Denzel Ward. One of the other guys that got taken in the top 5, 10. Oh, terrible. But they will they'll flame the Bills for that. And then they'll say, Trubisky will take his job. Trey Lance, only high draft picks, still haven't. Yeah, I mean, I think what happened with that, Steve, is that I think Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. I do like his style of offense. I do like that West Coast two back. I do. Oh, nice touchdown. Oh, he dropped it. Deebo Samuel. He was in Washington with his dad. And we remember 2011, was it 12, 11 or 12? I think it was 12. Man, RG3 looked like a star. He looked like a sensation. A sensation. He gets injured. They have a weird ownership coach dynamic. The coach is listening to the quarterback's family or his dad, and they're just, it's dysfunctional. And they're like, maybe he shouldn't have played so much. They played. He ends up getting injured even more. And he didn't know how to protect himself. So that's when I see it's like they're going to protect this kid. And if they feel like they're going to protect him by not playing him, they're going to do that. So that's why I see that's where the history of him being safe, going with Garoppolo. Garoppolo took him to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, he's a good quarterback. Not a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. He's definitely a good quarterback. Not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I think New England would have been better off keeping him. If they were just going to move on from Brady, they should have just kept him and just said, okay, we're going to move on from you. At least they would have an established guy that had some credibility, that looked like, he's been in their system. They drafted him. I mean, they only got a second round pick for him, but that's their problem. I mean, New England's, they're great at drafting, still taking running backs in the first round. Sony Michel, who they ended up trading 2-3 years later. Terrible. Missed throw to Yep. One missed throw to Sanders. That's for sure. Oh, that's not on him. Ayuk should have caught that. Matt Soda, the 49ers still have a chance to do something Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, it's so early and we're so high off this win. It feels so good. And it's just so nice and relaxing that, we get to, it's like when the Bills win, the Monday is really good. Everything is it's a nice, no matter if we have to work, or go into work early tomorrow or not, it was still just a nice, light and lovely. It just feels good. He got fucking hit. Is he hurt? He's a little brittle. He got crushed pretty good. Those are the 94 uniforms. Oh, that was a third down too. They're going to kick a field goal. It's third down. You're not going to. Oh, they're going to put Trey Lance out there. Or they're just going to kick. Oh, wow. Here comes Trey Lance. Let's see if he can score, guys. Let's see if he can score. Backs in motion. He's going to score. That's balls. Because they had no time to kick a field goal, nothing. That's balls right there. That's I give him credit for that. And everybody knew he was going to run too. Did they run? They ran to the short side of the field. Who's the only blocker over there? Kittle. Yep, Kittle. Oh, he's got. Oh, fuck. Oh my God, Trent Williams just myrtleized his man. Watch this block by Trent. Oh, he put that guy on his ass. Fake smile from Jimmy G. Hit this. You better hit this extra point, you son of a bitch. Okay. I hate missed extra points. You know what's funny? I love touchdowns so much, but that extra point, now that it's from 30, was it 37 or whatever, 34 yards, it just drives me nuts. It's like today, all I'm like when they went for 2 and didn't make it, I was like, okay, you make it. At that point, it would have been 35 to something game. I don't care if they don't make it or not. It's worth it to go up by 3 true touchdowns, 3 scores. And even then, you're still up by 3 scores, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Well, 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions and a field goal. So you could do that. That was one of the instances where go for 2. Every time Tyler Bass, I'm like, just hit the fucking extra point. I know you can do it. Hit the extra point. He got that long field. It was 48 yards and it was windy as shit. even you can see the goalposts moving on the TV. I mean, in the stadium, maybe Eric will tell us better. You could see the goalposts. They were going like, they were moving. I was like, wow, I talked your ear off that whole halftime, guys. I appreciate you guys staying with me for so long. I've only done 2 hours. Feels so good to come in and talk after a win like that. Allen, getting back to Allen, our offense looking like our offense. It was so frustrating because like we know we have it in us. We know they have it in them. It's the same personnel, if not better. It's the 4th year in the system. There's no reason for them to be having these hiccups. Let's fucking go. Oh, the flags are going. The goalposts were, you could see the goalposts moving on the 48-yarder. I was like, I was like, I don't know if he was going to make that. I was like, and he made it, the cheap one at the end of the half. I was like, oh shit. Because he wide righted a 53-yarder last week at the end of the half. I was so pissed. I wanted to go into halftime. I mean, it was sloppy after 14-0. I was like, shit, at least get this cheap 3, calm me down a little bit. And he missed it. I was like, fuck. But he hit it this week. I was like, we know he can be good from 50 easy. You know, he can hit it 15 yards elevated through the goalpost at that range, no problem. But that was frustrating last week, but he redeemed himself this week. But it's been great, guys. I appreciate you guys stopping in so much, staying all this time. It's so good to come in and talk after a win like today, where, like I said, our offense looks like our offense. They look like how we expect them to look. And Allen got back to, being Allen. I saw some of you guys tweeting during the game. I saw Damager, Allen's back. Allen didn't go missing. Yeah, Matt, this should relax everybody. It'll definitely relax everybody. It'll calm everybody down. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for some of the clips today from the game, bro. You had some good seats. You got to enjoy a nice view of the game, looking down. You got to see some of the plays. What's up, Jay? How you doing, bro? Good game today. Tough game. Heineke's a scrappy SOB. Couldn't get him down on a sack for shit. Receivers dropped some passes today. Didn't hold on to a few. Logan Thomas is a nice player, former Bill. Must be frustrating with that pass rush. Thanks, man. I appreciate you talking to me. Sit around and come talk to me for almost 2 hours. I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much. But the frustrating thing from a Washington's fan's point of view before I dip out is probably not getting anything from that pass rush, that defense, that 4 first-round picks across the defensive line. The Jamon Davis, a first-round pick, a big free agent investment in Landon Collins, and just to get, you're not getting any plays from that defense. And even last week against a guy like, offense like Daniel Jones, I mean, that's not a world beater offense, and they gave up a lot of plays. So that must be frustrating. Any thoughts on KC? Oh man, they're a good team, man. Steve, they're a good team. They're just gone through some hiccups, and they're gonna they'll figure it out. I mean, I just think I just think that Mahomes isn't getting away with some of the stuff that he usually gets away with, and those passes are being intercepted. Guys are making plays on him, whereas maybe they would have fell incomplete last year, year before, and he's a little frustrated. Their rhythm is off. They have a whole new offensive line, even though it's supposedly an upgraded offensive line. It's like they're showing one of the interceptions right here. He's rolling, classic Mahomes play where, usually he makes it, but he floats it, and the safety just comes over, and Kelsey he's triple covered. And, Mike Williams goes up and gets a touchdown. Big man's a corner. And Stafford is really looking good with the Rams, man. He really is. They gave Tampa Bay a game today. They really got on them. But they'll get it together. I mean, they got too much talent. Tyree, they have so much talent. They'll figure it out. I mean, we're not a quarter away through the season with an extra game now with 17, so they'll figure it out. Thanks, man. Enjoy every week. It's hard to say it's not overrated. It was better last year. It's just like, how do you have Del Rio, veteran, former head coach, defensive guy, Rivera, and the defense is just gashed. It's a sieve. I mean, that's the way I looked at it. I looked at it going into this week as like, if and it's not to sound cocky, if Daniel Jones and the Giant offense can do that to the Redskins defense, our offense should destroy them. Not to sound cocky. In my head, I'm saying this. I'm like, if our offense doesn't look good against that unit, we have serious problems. And thankfully, they came out and did some good things. But it must be frustrating to. Is this the third in that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Off the goalpost? I feel so bad for Detroit fans. I mean, long run, okay, they lose the game, they get better draft capital, but that must really suck, man. Because that's a good win against a really good team, the Ravens, but they lose it. That sucks. Yeah. Yeah. That's a crazy division, Jay. I mean, you guys could give a game to Dallas. If you get your defense figured out, you could give a game, you could beat the other two teams in the division easy. The Giants have no pulse. Eagles are lucky. They beat up an Atlanta team that beats the Jets, the Giants this week. So it's like, if Heineke doesn't turn over the ball and just De'Ami Brown catches the ball a little bit more, I think they should be okay. Well, their defense has to figure out their issues first. Detroit and Minnesota love to torture their fans. Yeah, man. It's like I look at it this way. It's like we Bills fans, we have our bad losses, our sucky losses. Every fan base has their losses, man. You really have to look at it and say, like, every fan base, man, they impact us more because we feel them as fans of our teams. But every team, man, they've suffered some, brutal losses. Detroit, I remember it was it Richard Rodgers, Hail Mary against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers throws it up. That was it. Richard Rodgers catches it. There was a few others in there. They really suffered some really bad losses. But all right, guys, I'm truly going to jump off of here now. Take care. Have a great one. Have a great start to your week. Good to start the Victory Monday tomorrow. 72-hour rule. We enjoy it till I always say, like, I stop enjoying it when the coaches have their Wednesday press conferences and start talking about the next game. That's when I stop enjoying what happened today. So I don't think they have a 24-hour rule in Buffalo. I think they have a 12-hour rule. I think they enjoy it a little bit. They clean up the game tape. The players watch it at like 8 a.m., between 7 and 8 a.m., and then they're done. They rehab, prehab, move on to next week. The playoff game against Dallas comes to mind. Yep, that one. Anthony Hitchens should have been flagged. Pass interference, wasn't. Missed kicks by Blair Walsh from Minnesota. So yeah, man. But they also have the Minnesota Miracle, Steph Diggs, current Bills, so they have that moment. But all right, guys, peace. Thanks for the 9 likes. If you feel like you want to subscribe, please do. I appreciate everything you guys do. You come in here and make the room live. Steve's always blowing the room up. Eric, Damager, Matt, all the guys from earlier in the chat. Trevor was in the room the whole time, I think. I'd like to try to name everybody. Bowman was in here. Tom was in here, going ham. He gets really, and I think he's in Germany, so that's crazy. I hate if I'm missing anybody right now. I'm trying to scroll back through the chat as much as I can. The chat replay is slow. Zach came in, said what's up to start with, but appreciate you guys, man. Go Bills. Love you all. Peace. 12 likes. Thank you so much. Have a great one, guys. What do you think, Ryan?